Ippity boppity boo. Hey everyone, welcome to another ranking. Here's my ranking of all of the Cinderella movies. Yes, I'm a big fan of the Nostalgia Critic, and yesterday he did a Nostalgia Critic review, old versus new, of the Cinderella movies. Yes, the animated Disney movie versus the 2015 Cinderella movie. He compared them both together and did a really cool video about it and stuff, and again, I love the Nostalgia Critic, and after watching that video, I thought, well, let's talk about Cinderella. That seems like a pretty cool idea, and so I thought to myself, what could I do? Could I do like a top 10 Cinderella movies? But I just realized there's not a lot of great Cinderella movies, so I thought I'd just do a ranking of the Cinderella movies from my least favorite to my favorite, but then I had to think about it. What classifies as a Cinderella movie? Like, there's a lot of, TV movies, straight-to-DVD movies, and a lot of weird old Cinderella movies that you can't even find or watch anymore, so I thought I'd just go completely, subjective on this ranking. So I'm just gonna rank all the Cinderella movies that I've seen. Yes, I know that's not really fair, but I don't know, there's some Cinderella movies I can't even find or even watch, so this is just a ranking of the Cinderella movies that I've seen. And some of these movies people might think, oh, that's not like a Cinderella movie, but so yeah, this is a confusing ranking, but whatever, we're gonna have fun with it, and we're gonna talk about some Cinderella. So yeah, here's my ranking of the Cinderella movies from my least favorite to my favorite. Alright, coming in at number 7 is a Cinderella story and another Cinderella story. Yes, this is the original and the sequel. I can't believe I just said original and sequel. Yes, these are teen movies. Yes, one has a teen sensation, Hilary Duff, and another teen sensation, Selena Gomez. And I think there's a third one, but I didn't bother to see it because I think I suffered enough with these two. And these are basically teen angst versions of Cinderella. It's like teenage girls and their lives are like Cinderella. They live with an evil stepmother and evil stepsisters. They meet a boy at a dance, once played by Chad Michael Murray. Yeah, score. But yeah, they meet a boy at the dance, the guy doesn't know who she is, and then they have a nice night together, but the stroke of midnight she leaves, he finds a device, whether it's a phone or whatever, and he goes searching for her, and they end up together in the end. A Cinderella story. That's what it's called, a Cinderella story. And these two movies are absolutely garbage. I hate both these fucking movies. That's why I didn't see the third one, if there is one. I think there is one, but yeah. The Hilary Duff one is wildly unfunny, horribly acted. Yes, Hilary Duff, Chad Michael Murray, Jennifer Coolidge, Regina King, they're all awful in this movie. And I've seen this movie a lot because when this movie came out, 2004, 2005, my sister loved this movie. So I watched this movie a lot when I was a kid, and I fucking hated it. She friggin' tortured me with this movie, but then I got to watch Batman Begins. That was the thing of 2005. My sister watched Cinderella Story. I watched a lot of Batman Begins. So yeah, it kind of evened out. A shit movie and an awesome movie. But yeah, I hated both these movies. My sister also made me watch the sequel, another Cinderella Story with Selena Gomez. It was just as awful and just as boring and just as annoying as the first one. They're both the worst things I've ever seen with the Cinderella title to it. And I just wish a Cinderella Man was on this list. I'm like, is that about Cinderella? No, it's not. It's about a boxer. Can it count? No, it can't. But yeah, these are the worst Cinderella movies, in my opinion. Come number 6 is Cinderella 2, Dreams Come True. Ah, my god. This is a complete middle finger and an insult to the original cartoon Cinderella movie. This was a straight-to-DVD sequel. I think it was a straight-to-DVD, but yeah, this came out in the early 2000s, and it was about what happens after Happily Ever After. It's a lot about the mice and the fairy godmother and what Cinderella's doing with the prince and stuff, and you really don't give a shit. You really don't. The animation is so cheap looking, the jokes are so forced and so irritating. The characters that we all knew and loved from the original, they're so annoying and so poorly written. This is an insult to Cinderella, and that's why I hated this movie. Straight up, this is an awful sequel and a very pointless sequel. Coming number 5 is the Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella in 1997. Yes, this one had Whitney Houston, Brandy, and Whoopi Goldberg. This was more the ethnic Cinderella. People were really mixed. The critics were dead center on this one. The fans loved it. A lot of hardcore Cinderella fans, still to this day, they really love this movie. There's a huge fan base for this Cinderella movie. That's fine. My sister is one of them. She fucking loves this movie. She still has the fucking DVD of it. I, on the other hand, don't. I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's a complete waste of a Whitney Houston and a Whoopi Goldberg, because I'm a big fan of Whitney Houston and Whoopi Goldberg. Not so much Brandy. She's a horrible actress, but yeah, this movie is very unoriginal and very unwhimsical. It doesn't even really feel like Cinderella. And everyone's like, oh, just because it has Rodgers and Hammerstein doesn't mean the movie's good. This movie is no King and I or Sound of Music. It's not at all. This movie is directed by the guy who gave us She's All That and From Justin to Kelly. So how good could this movie really be? It's not. It's very cheap looking, and the costumes, the production don't really look very good. The chemistry between the two leads isn't very good. Brandy is not even a good actress. Whoopi is, and so is Whitney, but again, it's a complete waste of them. They're not very big. It solely focuses on Brandy, and she's a horrible actress, and she is just terrible in this movie. It's a harmless movie, but I'm not a fan of it. I know there's a big fan base for this movie. I don't know why, but I'm not one of them. Coming number 4 is Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time. This movie isn't flawless. This movie actually has a lot of problems, but for a Disney sequel, it's ballsy. Like, I love the premise of this movie. This movie is pretty much about Lady Tremaine. She basically steals the fairy godmother's powers and changes the course of time. Like, Cinderella never met the prince, and the bad guys got the good ending, and that is such a cool idea. Imagine if they did like a Lion King. Like, what if Scar ended up the king of Pride Rock and Simba died or something? That would be an interesting take. Or if Lord Frollo killed Quasimodo and he actually forced Esmeralda to marry him. That would have been fucked up, but interesting to see. And this is what this movie does. It actually shows you, what if the villain won? And that is such a cool and unique premise, and it's so ballsy, especially for a Disney movie at this time. It was still in the early 2000s. I think, 2006, 2007. And I really liked this movie. I remember me and my sister renting this movie, and she's like, come on, Cinderella, Cinderella, woo, Cinderella. I'm like, okay. But I watched it, and I quite enjoyed it. Again, there's a lot of problems with this movie. There's some consistency issues, and the animation, again, isn't as good as the original animation designs, but it's ballsy, and I love the premise. That is why I like it. And there's a lot of edge to it. There's some tension in it, and it's very dark. Like, really dark for a Cinderella movie, and I kind of liked it. It's not bad. Nothing amazing, but I kind of enjoyed this. It's a pretty damn good Disney sequel. Coming number 3 is the original Cinderella, 1950. Again, I've said this a bunch of times. I was never a hardcore Cinderella fan. When I was a kid, I watched it a lot because that was my sister's kind of movie. She loved Little Mermaid, Cinderella, Mulan, and Beauty and the Beast. I loved most of those movies, except Cinderella. Cinderella was always the movie I dread watching when I was a kid, because I was always saying to my sister, can we just watch Lion King, or Hunchback of Notre Dame, or Rescuers Down Under, or Aladdin, or Fantasia? Those were like my kind of movies. See, I grew to love Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast when I got older, but I never, I got attached to Cinderella. I do appreciate it, now as an adult, and a person who admires filmmaking. It's a very good movie. It's just not for me. The designs are really good. It's very colorful, very bright. The songs are really good. I enjoy a lot of the characters, except the lead characters. I don't find Cinderella a very interesting or a very compelling character, and the prince says, nothing. This is him. That's all his lines of dialogue. And he just instantly falls in love with the princess. Or Cinderella, sorry, she's not princess yet, but he instantly falls in love with her because she's good looking. Okay, wow, great chemistry right there. And yeah, the characters that I liked was Lady Tremaine, the mice, and Fairy Godmother. And they stole the whole movie, and that's pretty bad because the movie is called Cinderella. But you don't really care much about Cinderella. You care about the mice and the fairy godmother and Lady Tremaine, the villain, who's trying to ruin Cinderella's life. So if you're rooting for the villain to ruin the main character's life, then there's a problem with your lead character. That is some rating issues right there. And yeah, I like this movie. I can see why so many people love this movie. There's a lot of creativity and a lot of passion in this movie. And it's a great movie to throw on every now and then. If I ever get a craving to watch this movie, sure, I'll put it on and have a good time, but it was never a movie geared towards me. It's geared towards a lot of people, but I just wasn't one of them, but I still enjoy it for what it was. Coming number 2 is Cinderella 2015. Yes, I did a review of this movie last year, and I gave it a good rating. I gave it an 8.1 out of 10. I really enjoy this movie. This is a great adaptation of Cinderella, and actually improves upon the story of Cinderella. All the problems I had with the Disney version, the animated Disney version, this movie fixes all of them. It made Cinderella more of an interesting and compelling character. Yes, I know Doug Walker insults her a lot, but I could debate his, theory on Lily James as Cinderella. yes, I do agree with him at the ending of the movie when she's all whimsical and happy, la-di-da-di-da-da. I do agree with him, but he says in his review, he's like, why does Cinderella fight for the place when she just leaves the place anyways? And the answer to that question is she fights for that place because that is her family name. She may leave the place at the end of the movie, but at least Lady Tremaine doesn't have the place. That is a place she's grown up with. She may not live there. She may not live there at the ending, but it's still her place. And that place might get passed down to like generations, maybe a niece or a nephew or stuff. That is her family place, not Lady Tremaine. That is why Cinderella in this movie, she stays with Lady Tremaine and her stepsisters. It's because that is her family place. That is her place. Not Lady Tremaine's place, but her place. And that is why I agree with everything she's saying. And yes, she may leave it at the end of the movie, and you're probably all thinking, why did she fight for that place so much? Because she just left it at the end of the movie. Yes, she may have left it, but it might go down to maybe a child or a grandchild or stuff. That is still her family place. She owns that property. That is her property, no one else's. That is why she stays. So that is a debate against yours, Doug. I love you, Doug. You're a great reviewer, one of my favorites, but yeah, that's the one problem I had with your video, but I still love your video. But I really enjoyed this movie. I love the production, the costume design, the cinematography. Kenneth Branagh, one of my favorite directors, directed this movie so freaking well. I love the chemistry between Lily James and Richard Madden. Yes, King Robb Stark from Game of Thrones. They have great chemistry together. There's a lot of great heart and emotionality in this movie, especially when the king dies. That is such a sad scene. Derek Jacobi's great. Stellan Skarsgård's great. Kate Blanchett's awesome as Lady Tremaine. I really love this movie. This improved upon the original. Also, Hello Bonham Carter. Hello Bonham Carter's great in this too, but this just improved upon the original. Like, all the mistakes the original had, this movie just improved upon it and just made it better. And that's why it's my second favorite Cinderella movie. And my number one favorite Cinderella movie is, Doug got it right on this one, Ever After. Yes, Ever After. I love this movie. This movie is so freaking good. This has Drew Barrymore, Angelica Houston, Dougray Scott. This movie is fantastic. It's loosely a Cinderella story kind of feel, because the movie begins with Cinderella, or Danielle's granddaughter, telling the story to the Brothers Grimm, who wrote the Cinderella story. So, sorta, this is almost kind of like a true story-ish about how Cinderella was created based off this girl Danielle's life. So yeah, it's pretty much a Cinderella story, because it's about a girl who lives with her stepmother and her stepsisters, falls in love with the prince, she's poor and stuff, but yeah. This one is done perfectly. Drew Barrymore is amazing. It's one of the best performances Drew Barrymore gives. This is an E.T. She is so good in this movie. Her chemistry with Dougray Scott is really good. Angelica Houston, aka Morticia from the Addams Family, she's amazing. She's very sympathetic. You understand why she's so cruel to Danielle and stuff. You understand these characters. These are really well written and fleshed out characters. It's amazingly directed. The production, the costumes, cinematography, the score, everything about this movie is done so well. Danielle is a very strong, independent woman. She's funny, she's smart, she's clever, she stands up for herself. She even has swords and almost kills a guy with them. She saves the prince's life instead of the prince saving her life. Even at the end of the movie, when he tries to go rescue her, she rescues herself. I'm like, yes, that's so great. She's not a damsel in distress. She can take care of herself. I love this movie. It's got great romance, great drama, great comedy, and it's just a beautiful, heartwarming story, and I love it. Ever After is the best Cinderella movie, in my opinion. Some people might not like it, but that's fine. I love this movie, and it's my favorite Cinderella movie. So yeah, that's my ranking of all the Cinderella movies, from my least favorite to my favorite. Say in the comment section below, please tell me, give me all your rankings of the Cinderella movies, from your least favorite to your favorite. Comment below, and let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.